until they implement that. So, if you want to introduce mouse control, the blue team on the left.
Okay, so for mouse control, we have Uther, played by Praden, Sylvanas, played by Solid, Murdin, played by Philibert, Falstad, played by Lark, and NOoB, played by Razalat.
And meantime, for the side of Order of New Bosses, we're going to have Kuroneko on Zagara, Exact on Jaina, Zalor on, what's his name, Rhaegar. Nijo is going to be playing his tank Johanna, and Inraki is going to be that Valorant.
Alright, so let's get it on.
Not chosen her talent yet.
No talent chosen yet. So she's probably waiting to see, because I reckon she's probably choosing between what build she wants to go, and it's quite dependent on your first pick.
Yeah, I mean, we have a 3-man push here for mouse control. They'll be pushing up top with this, with the Beetles coming out of the NOoB, plus all the tower disable coming out of the
Yep, and you can see Rhaegar coming up just to get some support out up here. He doesn't.
Yeah, the Jade also transitioned up. Actually, Rhaegar's going to take a good chunk of damage from the harass. But that'll be about that.
And I apologise.
Meanwhile, we've got a Falstad versus Zagara bottom. We've got Muradin versus Johanna. Favourable for the Johanna in mid. And I think I'm shot calling this game,
Yes,
am I not?
you are.
We have a right-click build out of Arlo in the end. We're going to get rank all picked up for her.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea to me, because with that, if she does try to go for like a really burst team, it could just get completely absorbed by the Uther, like if she nukes the wrong target. So an auto attack build is going to provide a lot more consistency in damage.
Yeah, they also already have a good chunk of AoE damage in the form of Jaina, plus the Zagara being able to drop down some stuff. A lot of damage being done from that to mouse control here by New Order. Razalat on that, the NOoB falling quite low.
Yep, and with the chain heal from Rhaegar, he's going to be a lot more sustained on this lane. But they're pushing so hard with that Sylvanas. They are just really
the Beetles
pushing.
plus the Sylvanas means that the wave gets cleared up so much quicker for mouse control. Not much happening elsewise on the other lanes.
We just got these two lanes down here. There's not going to be a lot of excitement going on because they are just a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, tank versus tank and range versus range. That's about it. First tribute is going to be spawning up top, so beneficial for both teams. Although I think mouse control have tapped their wells, so it looks like New Order bosses be able to get an advantage here. Just the positioning, the fact that they're mostly full health.
Yeah.
Bit of poke coming out.
So they are just going to sacrifice that first one. They're not going to try and... Oh, they do! They try and contest! I don't think that was necessarily the best of ideas. Just want to split push that.
Yeah, especially
they've given up a lot of soak XP on that middle lane for that. It's not worth it.
The experience is still staying pretty even, and they're still denying it.
And the
Praden dropping really low though to a blizzard. All the slows coming out. Sylvanas is actually going to drop here.
Gets dropped quite fast.
That last frostbolt just going to pick her off. Meanwhile, the Falstad's dropping really low to the Zagara down bottom. Zagara's being able to push out really effectively.
You have that healing from the creep now, and it's just absolutely crazy sustained. She's so hard to deal with in a 1v1 situation. And Falstad's definitely not the hero that can deal with her. She is so good 1v1 right now, and that's why they put her on the bottom lane, because they know that there's not going to be people down there to deal with it.
He's gone with power throw, so we potentially see secret weapon come out at, I think it's level 13 is secret weapon, or is that level 7? One or the other. But there has been greater push on the top lane, whilst bottom lane has been greater pushed out for New Order bosses.
Falstad's backing now. He's probably preparing for this tribute spawn. They really need to take this next tribute, otherwise the one after this is going to spell trouble for them.
Especially since they have an experienced disadvantage.
Uther was trying for a cheeky grab right there, but not able to take that.
Meanwhile, a potential fight happening here. Falstad taking a good chunk of damage. Muradin getting stunned out here. Same with the Falstad from the Johanna. The NOoB coming in, but the team is separated. They don't have a healer here for the NOoB. He's just going to get harassed down. He's on about half health. Murden able to dwarf toss himself out just before the condemn came out from Johanna. And I think that New Order Bosses just has better positioning on this. Better health, better mana, and they will probably be able to take this tribute. Meanwhile, the Murden actually dies bottom to the Jaina.
Well, with New Order, they know that they are going to be capable in teamfights, and so they really just push for teamfights. And it feels like a lot of their tactics are based around really just bullying. They're almost a bully composition. They just really push in. They're not afraid to get stuck into a teamfight, you know? Like, they will go toe-to-toe.
Vala, Jaina, and Zagara are really, really good for poke damage. Don't get me wrong, Sylvanas and Falstad are also really good for poke damage. But you've got 3 pokers versus 2 pokers. You've got a better early game and overall healer in the form of the Rhaegar compared to the Uther. And you've got that more sustained tank in the Johanna compared to the Murden and the NOoB. NOoB does do a lot. Murden has a huge amount of lane sustain. But during a fight, because of Johanna's trait, she actually has a high health pool until I think it's level 13 hits where Murden gets Stonefall.
Well, we are maybe going to try and see a potential gank on this bottom lane. They need to really control this Zagara. She's getting out of control, but the soak from mouse control, I think I got that right. Yes, mouse control is actually keeping them in the game.
Well, meanwhile, we have an engagement down bottom. Murden dwarf tossed himself in, stunning up the Jaina, not able to get a kill, and in fact, Praedin on that Uther going to take a lot of damage as a result. Sylvanas not able to pressure out this Johanna either. And that's a really unfortunate tribute spawn for mouse control. They're probably going to lose this one as well. In fact, New Order bosses are going to hit 10.
Oh,
boss getting this
so
tribute.
Really they need to skip this tribute. Okay, so that's the first curse, goes on to New Order, and it's a complete destruction from that.
Yeah, Murden's just going to die, get picked off on the back here. We're going to have the ultimate come out from Jaina. That water elemental popping down damage, and that's going to be a fort down bottom. NOoB diving in on the Vala top, potentially able to get that since they do hit level 10 now, doing mouse control. Almost killing her out. But they're going to lose a fort, maybe able to trade for some towers or something, but off the back end, so I don't really see what mouse control can do. They can't take advantage from any of the situations. Oh, NOoB going in on the Vala again. He might pop his ulti here. Not enough mana to do that and get the extra damage. She's able to vault herself out. Meanwhile, we're going to have Uther come and stun her.
Oh!
Big Hinterlands Blast come out to snipe out the kill after the Rain of Vengeance landed on the Uther and the Sylvanas, stopping them getting killed, but Falstad was there with the plays.
So we have Falstad trying desperately to defend a 3v1 situation. They do back off though, so it's not too bad. They're not going to push for it.
The disengage is pretty solid. Curse gets 1 fort down bottom. And that was about it, mostly. I mean, some good damage up top from the Jaina. Master Skin Jaina, might I add.
Oh, yeah. So, really, this Rhaegar is just playing super aggressive, and he can do that. This Rhaegar can play as aggressive as he likes in this team. They're not going to focus him. It's going to be so hard for them to kill him.
He still has Ancestral Healing up as well. That's not been used at all.
Yes.
They're actually going to get a really fast boss kill here. Yep, I'm hearing it.
But Mouse Control are also going for their own
boss for boss.
As New Order. No Clairvoyance out of either team, and double cleanse, Rhaegar and Uther both taking it.
That's impressive. That means that there's going to be a lack of control in these fights, which could cause some problems, I think, mainly for New Order. Actually, sorry, mainly for mouse control, because New Order have that more, and they have so much control following off of it. And
on top of that, they don't have all that many stuns. It's mostly the slows from the Jaina and the occasional stun from Johanna for the Uther to cleanse away. Gonna have a good push down bottom here from mouse control with their boss, but New Order's boss is up top lane. That big Grave Golem is going to be taking out that top fort. 2 forts down for none in favour of New Order of bosses.
They are going to back
Johanna
out here.
Getting really aggressive, getting a good condemn down, but the rest of New Order bosses comes down there. More landing on 1. False Stack getting a fantastic Hinterland Blast off, but that Ancestral Healing really clutch, just healing up to Jaina before she dies. Uther's going to get picked off from the back. Solid SMD on that. Sylvanas going to get killed, as is the False Stack after that fantastic Hinterland Blast. That's going to be a 3 for nothing. That Rhaegar heal's coming out.
And you actually saw them trying to... They only hit Uther with the Zagara ult, but it actually prevented an immunity, a Divine Shield coming out. Which,
yeah, Divine Shield's
and
not
he really has to use that Divine Shield, because it's going to soak up so much of the damage from... I mean, once you've soaked up that control that they're bringing, the more into... summon into Elemental, into the Blessed Shield. Once you soak that up, then there's not much left to really deal... Like, there's not much damage left to deal with. So, once you've soaked that, you know, they could easily...
I mean, Jaina and Vala are always going to do a good chunk of damage, especially with the right-click build with the searing attacks and stuff coming out of Vala. But like you say, once that huge burst damage is gone, which you can nullify from the shield, then the rest of it's mostly easy to heal up. NOoB taking Spell Shield makes sense against a Jaina. But I actually quite like the fact that Vala didn't go multi-shot with the Jaina, knowing that NOoB can take Spell Shield. Johanna coming in here, contesting the hard cap, and they're just going to go and bully Mouse Control away, and the Order of Boss is going to steal the bruises after they did all the hard work.
No, man.
Fantastic map presence, map awareness out from the Order of Bosses. Meanwhile, this tribute squad
they are just dominating the tributes. They are seriously dominating the tributes.
They got an early game advantage and they've held on to it, and they're extending, although the level difference isn't nearly as much as you see from other ones. Uther getting caught out here in a bad position. He's going to get blown up before he's able to get Divine Shield off. He gets stunned out from the Condemn plus that Blessed Shield. Going to have Ancestral Healing come off on the Johanna to keep her alive. NOoB's going to fall really, really low here. Razalat going to die. That's a 2 for naught.
But we have Sylvanas split pushing the bottom lane. So once again, they're only going to be a level behind. Actually, now they're going to be quite a bit behind. But Sylvanas, unfortunately, was down the bottom lane trying to defend against a camp. And we may see another curse. And that's going to be huge. Because they're still... I mean, this is what happens when you allow a team to just bully you. You know? New Order are literally getting stuck into team fights. They go completely into team fights. They don't ever hesitate. They're just in straight away.
The Johanna Jaina provides so much cover damage that Mouse Control have to either full on commit to an engagement or they can't engage. Otherwise, they'll just lose out on poke damage. And that's what we've seen happening just consistently. New Order bosses putting down the Johanna Condemn plus the Jaina Blizzard, and that's that. Yep. Mouse Control can't engage fully, and if they do, they'll probably die, and if they don't, then they're going to lose the engagement.
Siege camp being stolen as well.
Meanwhile, Uther is up top. He's going to on the right-hand side, he's going to half step back.
He's just up there chilling. He's taking in the views up there.
With the curse and the siege count, that's going to be the entire wall gone top lane, and that should be about it as far as the damage this curse does. There's only 10 seconds left on it. In the meantime, New Order bosses are going to completely go back and go take their own boss. And after taking their boss, since they'll be able to take it really quickly, they can just transition down to bottom straight away and take
that boss is going down so fast. And Mouse Control's boss just came up, and I'm not sure if they're going to try and contest this. Oof. Muradin was dangerously close. They could have got picked out, but luckily he didn't.
But if Mouse Control don't defend against this boss, because there's no wall there, it'll most likely get a keep. Which means that New Order bosses can just come down here and take Mouse Control's boss. And Mouse Control almost have to contest this, otherwise they're going to get destroyed in a bottom lane engagement. And NOoB getting caught out here. The blinds going up to Johanna. NOoB getting stunned out here. Fantastic Wailing Arrow on 3. Plus the Hinterlands Blast, stunning out the Jane. She's going to Ice Block, plus that Ancestral Healing keeping her alive. Meanwhile, the Muradin and the Uther get dropped. The NOoB not able to survive longer. Everybody on New Order bosses is so low, but they're just not able to get any kills. The Ice Block fantastic play by the Jaina, keeping her alive.
Well,
An Ancestral pop.
that's where you see Ancestral Ice Block and why it's such an amazing ability. Ice Block into Ancestral is such a good combo. And actually, in that fight, I feel that mouse control really messed up. We didn't see a Divine Shield, I don't think, come out from Uther again. And, I mean, that's huge. And then, as well as that, the boss actually snared a ton of their team, and they still survived. In that situation, you really should be winning a team fight like that. If you're mouse control, you should be completely destroying them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if you land on Hinterland's Blast on the two squishies, the Vala and the Jaina. Plus that Wailing Arrow. I mean, they landed every ultimate they needed to, but it just wasn't enough. I don't know how they're going to come back in this. We wouldn't count them out though. We're going to have Condemn come out. The Sylvanas is going to get stunned out, and she's probably going to get blown up here. Muradin taking a lot of damage. In fact, the focus was on him, which is a bit of a shame. They could have killed Solid SMD. And the boss is going to get cleaned up, but not before taking that bottom keep. And the top keep was in fact taken by the boss that they'd taken earlier.
Exactly.
Next tribute's going to come down bottom. Perfect position for New Order bosses to take it. And mouse control are really struggling in this
But
first
once
game.
again, we're going to have a turtle situation here. Hopefully they turtle well by mouse control under the turret. So we're going to see if they can just hold long enough to catch up on levels. And once again, there's no mule to do it, so it's going to be quite hard.
I mean, nobody on their team could have
Indeed,
taken Mule.
indeed.
I don't think anybody on either team could have taken Mule this game. Maybe the Zagara, I forget. But yeah, hopefully the core will be able to deal that extra little bit of damage that they're needing just to pick off these heroes. Because everybody's getting so low, but they're just not quite able to kill them. Level 20 here now, as just as this engagement starts. Fantastic Hinterland Blast on the Zagara. She's going to get blown up really quickly. Good Rain of Vengeance coming down. The Ancestral Healing keeping that Vala alive. Uther dropping really quite low. Still seen no Divine Shield out of him. Wonder whether or not he'll drop it. Solid SMD on that. Sylvanas is going to take a good chunk of damage from the Johanna. But the Nubrak and the Muradin on the front line zoning out the rest of New Order bosses. A fantastic engagement.
They are going to push for a counter.
As long as they can disengage out of this. And in fact, Razat's almost going to die. Still no Divine Shield. Uther, what are you doing? Divine Shield, the Jane is just going to ice block, and that means that they're going to be able to... New Order boss are going to be able to disengage. In fact, they're going to pick up Uther themselves. Still no Divine Shield.
Yep, Uther has still not been able to even cast that. He really needs to start using Divine Shield, or they're going to be in huge trouble. He's
had opportunities. He's been able to. He's not been stunned. He's not been silenced out. He's just not been, and he could have clutch saved the Nubrak there. The Nubrak stays, he gets more stuns. They potentially don't lose the Uther and are able to disengage. He could even turn around and get a potential kill with all those extra stuns and damage. So I don't know why he's still not using it. He just
I mean, they could have counter-engaged. That's so hard, but we're not seeing Uther's... Oh, I'm just really confused, unless it's a bug, but...
Yeah, if he can't cast it, then that's really unfortunate. And that's the only logical explanation I can think of as why he hasn't.
I think maybe a silence is coming down on him. I'm not sure at all.
But they don't have any silences. The only stuns they've got don't last long enough.
Exactly. But we can see they're able to blow up someone.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting Mauled. He got Mauled one engagement, which was fantastic, but by New Order of bosses. That's about it. Still no damage done to the core, however. Sylvanas able to clear up bottom lane. The rest of mouse control able to clear out top.
They're going to go for their boss.
And New Order bosses, yeah, their boss spawns. So this is a boss for New Order bosses.
And level 20 finally coming in. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that hardened shield for Nubrak and probably Muradin as well is the biggest thing. We're going to go rewind up on Muradin, actually. Redemption for the Uther. I'd really like to see that. But actually, looking at level 20 talents for New Order bosses, triple Bolt of the Storm.
Yep, so they can just disengage from a fight. But what's really weird is that they actually have a Deafening Blast taken on Sylvanas. And I kind of felt like Blink would have been the better option there. But you have the rest.
Oh, we've got a party bush here. Gonna have an engagement here. Razalak coming in. Fantastic wailing arrow landing. Actually, absolutely whiffing. Not fantastic. Falstad is gonna get blown up really, really quickly. Razalak needs to get the Divine Shield on that. NOoB Rackman is just gonna get healed up. Good ancestral healing coming down though on the Marla, who got very, very low. Razalak's gonna have to come down, but finally we get Divine Shield come down, and it's not gonna do much since he'd already burrow charged out. Uther's gonna dart it back. Sylvanas is very, very low and can't do much, and this boss is just going to push the core, and that's going to be game for New Order of Bosses. GG to them.
I mean, the issue there was they just didn't open with Divine Shield. You have to engage. You cannot wait on Divine Shield to be in a situation where you're going to be able to where someone's going to be low health and then you Divine Shield them. The best situation to do that is when you're engaging into a team fight. So your main player, your main hero, can just dive in, take no damage, can't be controlled, and just wreak havoc on their team. Unfortunately,
100%.
Uther was more focused on doing it to keep someone alive rather than doing it to allow someone to do a lot of damage. And look at the siege damage difference there as well. It just shows how much the pushing power of New Order of Bosses was just so hard to deal with.